Hi there, my name's Glenn Clark and welcome to this episode of CertVids. In this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how you can calculate the binary value of a decimal value that exists within inside of an octet of an IP address. So let's take a look at how to do this. First thing is, notice the IP address that I have written down is 192.168.2.10. And let's work with each of these octets. Now, each octet is made up of 8 different bits. And what I've done here is I've made a chart over to the right that shows the value of each of the 8 bits that exist within inside of an octet. The far bit on the far right-hand side has a value of 1. The next bit to the left of that has a value of 2. Then it doubles again, and we have a value of 4. Then it doubles again, we have a value of 8. Doubles again, and we have 16. Then we have 32, 64, and finally, the last bit on the far left of an octet has the value of 128. Now, if you're wondering where these values come from, it all comes from, mathematics in the sense that binary is based off 2 values. So when you look at the far right-hand bit, the calculation comes from 2 to the power of 0. Everything starts at 0 in computing. So 2 to the power of 0 is 1, then 2 to the power of 1 is 2, then 2 to the power of 2 is 4, and that's how 4 is in that third bit on the right-hand side. 2 to the power of 3 is 8, and so on, right? So that would continue from right to left, and that's how we calculate those different values that are assigned to each of the bits within an octet. So once you know that, once you know the values of each bit within an octet, it's fairly straightforward to convert a decimal value to binary. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the value of this first octet, which is 192. I'm going to write it up here. So 192. And then what you'll do to convert 192 as a decimal value to binary, you just need to enable the appropriate bits to make up the number 192. And by enabling, I mean set the value of that bit to 1. Disabling something would have the value of 0. So 192, you would turn on the 128 bit that's on the far left here. Then we would turn on the 64 bit. If we add those 2 numbers together, that actually gives us 192. So the rest of the bits are then turned off. So the decimal number 192 has the binary value or binary representation of 11000000. And if we keep doing that, let's do that for the second octet. So 168. 168 converted in binary. Well, we need to turn on the 128. Then we're going to turn on the 32. 128 plus 32 is going to be 160. Once we have 160, now we need 8 more. So we turn on the 4th bit from the right-hand side. And then every other bit gets turned off. So this is the value of 168. Now 2 is pretty easy. To figure out 2 in binary, you just go and enable the second far right-hand side bit. That gives us a decimal value of 2, so that means every other bit, the other 7 bits, are then turned off. And then finally, if we want to figure out what 10 is in binary, we would just go and enable the 8 and the 2. And then we turn off every other bit. So in this demonstration, you saw how to convert decimal to binary.